Hey guys, it's Bassima. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, we talk all things freelancing, remote work, and productivity. Today's video is going to be all about consistency and motivation. This is video number 2 in our April Goals 2022 challenge. If you want to join this challenge, I'll leave the link to the video right here that will give you more details on the challenge for the month of April. So let's jump into how to create a consistent routine that's really going to allow you to achieve your goals within the month of April. Tip number 1 is to expect that things won't always go according to plan. Oftentimes when we're setting our goals, we're really looking at it from a perfect state, thinking that we're always going to be super motivated and disciplined. But instead, this time for the month of April, you don't just want to rely on motivation to carry you through to your goals. You want to set a system in place. One of my favorite strategies to turn to is the 2-day window. The reason why I love using this strategy is that it gives you some structure when things don't go according to plan. You know that you have those 2 days to jump back into things without feeling like you're restarting over and beating yourself up about the fact that you fell off track. So for example, one of my goals for April was to read first thing in the morning instead of checking my phone. So let's say there's one morning where I'm not feeling so motivated and I decide to check my phone and not read. I just have to jump back into things the next day or the day after. The next time that you feel like you're not being consistent with your routine, know that it's completely okay and just give yourself that 2-day window to jump back into things. You can continue to make progress towards your goals because there's never going to be more than 2 days at a time where you're not working towards your goals. So that's my number 1 tip when it comes to maintain a consistent routine that's going to allow you to achieve your goals. The next tip I have for you to help you increase consistency to reach your goals is to not add too many things into your routine at once. So this is something that many of us can find ourselves doing, throwing in a bunch of new habits that we want to start at once. But instead of this helping us be more consistent and be more motivated, we usually find ourselves feeling super overwhelmed and like we're not able to keep up with all these new habits that we've started. Think of it as building blocks. You want to introduce one building block at a time, and once you're sure that building block that you've introduced is stable, you can add in another building block. For example, I focused only on reading first thing in the morning and not going on my phone, and once I felt like that was pretty consistent and I was starting to enjoy my routine, from there I was able to move on to the next step. And for me, that was introducing a light workout. So instead of throwing all these habits in at once, I just went about it one thing at a time. That really had me feeling super motivated and looking forward to my routine every morning because it didn't feel overwhelming. It felt like something I was able to keep up with. So the next thing that can really help increase your consistency, look at your day-to-day routine and see where you can minimize or eliminate some of the things that you're doing that can help increase the time you have and increase the energy you have. So oftentimes we look at it from the perspective of adding things into our routine, but you could usually find a few things in your day-to-day routine that you can eliminate or minimize that are really going to help you essentially buy back time and energy. An example of what this can look like for me, and I think this is pretty common for most people, it's errands. Errands have a way of eating up a lot of time and energy and making us feel like we're being productive, but instead it's usually taking us away from the things that we know that we should be working on in order to reach our goals. So for the month of April, make sure you have designated days where you can do your errands instead of having it become a reason why you might procrastinate and not get what you need to get done in order to reach your goals for April. The more space you're able to create within your schedule, the more you'll feel like you're actually able to keep up with the routines that you're trying to create in order to reach your goals. When it comes to consistency, less is more. If you're finding yourself having a hard time adapting to the new habits that you're trying to create, I encourage you to really take some time and look into your schedule and see where you can potentially buy back some time and energy. Now, the next thing when it comes to consistency is making sure you're super clear on why it's important for you to reach this goal. Because if it doesn't matter enough to you, you just won't do it. I encourage you to ask yourself some questions like, why does achieving this goal really matter? How does it make you feel knowing that you're working towards this goal? And what can achieving this goal or working towards it really add to your life? Being able to have clear reasons behind why you're working towards these April goals is going to increase the chances of you being consistent and not relying on motivation. Because your goal is just so important, whether motivation is there or not, you're going to find a way to get it done in order to achieve your goals. And lastly, this is my most important tip for you. Pair the actions that make you feel super unmotivated with a mindset shift that you want to make. All of us are going to have to do certain things that we don't enjoy doing or we tend to procrastinate. One thing I absolutely hate doing that I procrastinate all the time is editing my YouTube videos. This is something that I know I'm really not motivated to do and that I can truly procrastinate from now until next year and never get it done. But if I really want to grow my YouTube channel, then I want to make sure that I'm posting edited YouTube videos, and at this moment in time, I'm choosing to do them on my own. own. So because I know how important this task is when it comes to growing my YouTube channel, I want to make sure that I have that perspective in sight. Within my calendar, what I'll do is I'll schedule the task. So let's say I have to edit a YouTube video, and I'll pair it with why it's important and the perspective that I want to have related to that task. This really helps solidify why I'm doing this task. It really acts as a reminder for me why it's important for me to do this if I want to reach my goals. So I encourage you to do the same. If you do have tasks that really cause you to feel unmotivated and to procrastinate, to pair them with some kind of mindset shift that you want to make when working on these tasks, so that even if you're low on motivation, you can still go ahead and work on that task because you know how important it is on the journey to reaching your goal. And again, if all else fails, you can always return to tip number 1, which is to just make sure that you're never letting more than 2 days go by where you're off track. So I hope you found this video helpful. These are some of my favorite tips when it comes to increasing consistency and really helping me achieve the goals that I set. And as always, if you'd like my personal help in building your online freelance business without the overwhelm, you can book a free call with me in the description box down below, and we'll look into if my one-on-one coaching is the right fit for you. Thank you again for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in video number 3 of the April Goals 2022 challenge. See you next time.